And then fucking Luis. Like, why the fuck did you have to do that to me? Like, I cannot believe that happened. I cannot believe that.
But it's so good because it's a character that's now, like, obviously a character tied to Sasha, totally cool, especially with Gabby involved, but a character tied to Mikasa about Eren. Like, this character is tied to Mikasa and did a thing that Mikasa is not even doing at the moment, which is, I mean, Mikasa is Eren's, like, strongest supporter in Eren's corner. She is willing, if someone so much as, like, bumps into Eren, she is willing to, like, pull off the gloves and, like, get ready to punch them. But Mikasa never gave up any information about Eren. Flock did. Luis did. These couple other people did. And Luis there is like, I thought you joined the scouts for Eren. I thought you acted the way that you do. You made your choices based on Eren, and you believed in him. And it's interesting here that this causes a stir in Mikasa.
I love that Luis, to me at least, is looking for validation that she did right because she looks up to Mikasa, and potentially it's the reason that she became a scout in the first place. But I love that she just kept, like, trying to justify her actions in a way that she thought would be nice to Mikasa to hear.
That would reach her. Yeah. That Mikasa would understand.
Yeah. And then, you're right, it happened. We had these flashes from Mikasa's perspective back to when Eren saved her and killed these two people. I would love to know what you think about it.
About that? About that flash?
About her having the flash, yeah. And, like, what that means. Because I have ideas, too.
Okay. At first, what it means to me is that Luis said the right things for whatever intended effect she wanted to have at trying to... She at least got somewhat closer to... She hit some things.
Yeah.
And she was right about some things that she said in a way to evoke a response from Mikasa that Mikasa might actually agree with her to some degree. And I feel very weird about the energy from this flashback. It was almost like Mikasa was scared of Eren.
Yeah.
I don't know if you got that vibe too, but it was very odd to me. Like, Mikasa went in there charging when she was ready to kill these people. Like, she broke the floorboards with her strength. But maybe...
Only because Eren, like, said to break it, you know, like, to, like, break her mental, I mean, like, to, like, you know, go.
But what would the fear here be? Would it be overkill? Would she be scared of an overkill that Eren maybe Eren kept stabbing this man? And because we got a reference to overkill in this episode.
Yeah.
Falco was like, Gabby, you're overkilling, when she kept smashing the guy's head, and he was probably already dead after the second one.
Like, remembering that there needs to be somebody to rein Eren in, kind of thing.
Is that what Mikasa feels like her job is to make sure that he doesn't get scary?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Or Ben crazy thinking time that I think could be a possibility is that she's remembering this of Eren and that it's making her, like, realize that she's seen the Eren now before. I'm thinking that if there is a timey-wimey thing, maybe Eren, like, back then it was like something took over Eren to do this whole thing, and he did it in order to get Mikasa on his side and get Mikasa to surpass these crazy limits so that he could use her later on in life.
I mean, that would be wild and crazy theory Ben time. I also think it's interesting that he looks surprised when he looks over at her, almost, when she's laying on the floor. But I also think that it might be used, this flashback might be used for us to realize that maybe Eren hasn't fallen so far from his original self as some characters and we might possibly speculate.
Yeah.
That it's not that Eren that we saw come out of his Titan in the middle of that square in Marley after killing a bunch of innocent people and children. You know, maybe that Eren isn't totally off base, like off, like, where did he get, how did he get there, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe that the path to getting there was a lot clearer than we might be trying to sum up it as something. Maybe, it had to be something big that would make Eren switch and change.
And just like a reminder that
it was accessible to him to get here. And I think I might have been trying to think that it had to be something giant and elaborate that would get him to change. But right now I'm thinking, what if it was a one word? What if it was barely anything? And it was significant enough to him for him to go along with this plan, but that doesn't mean it had to be like a monumental piece of information.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a monumental piece of information. It could have meant anything, but it definitely had to come from Yelena. Because like we got confirmation that there was a meeting there.
Flock was Yelena's guard.
Does this confirm Eren has a house? You know?
Does it? Oh yeah, like she was near where they were living.
Yeah. What does Eren's house look like?
I don't know.
Isn't that like a great question?
I do think that it just made me think that I didn't even like totally comprehend that this was a Marleyan that probably, like in this house with Falco and Gabby, this was a Marleyan that probably came over on the ships and surrendered to the island.
Yeah.
And started a new life, worked for this orphan shelter. I don't know why that didn't really, like, that's a Marleyan southern accent or something like that.
Yeah. I don't know. Do you want to read the mid-roll?
I do. In Titan Studies, the Paradis Island threat, there's type over top of it. So. Theory claims the Eldians who fled to Paradis still bear a grudge from the Great Titan War and despise the rest of the world.
Interesting.
In Titan Studies, the Paradis theory claims that Eldians who fled to Paradis still bear a grudge from the Great... So that means both the Eldians in Marley and the Eldians in Paradis bear a grudge to the Great Titan War. That means that Gabby could come across people like Flock or maybe someone else that is totally like, wow, those people sucked.
Yeah.
She could meet people that have the exact viewpoint that she does, but from the island.
In Titan Studies. Are Titan Studies courses that happen where? In Paradis, or in Marley?
Right.
Or in the rest, everywhere?
I don't know if Marley would have taught that Paradis knew they did something wrong.
You want to know why I feel like it's not from Paradis? Because it's called the Paradis Island threat, right? Like you're referring to them as a threat, and if it's a threat, it's going to be a threat to you, whoever's teaching the course.
Oh, they despise the rest of the world.
And yeah, they have motive.
You're right, it's Marley.
But it's interesting though, right? Like
what it's claiming
everywhere.
is that they still have a grudge. Oh, for probably being defeated in the Great Titan War, and that's why the rumbling would happen if the rest of the world interfered. Like, they're still angry.
And it would
I completely misread that.
And it would
for some reason.
It would almost explain away beforehand if anything was to start happening. If like little kids in a classroom who are innocent, you know, and like enough, and they see like all these colossal titans coming towards them, he'd be like, I know exactly what it is. It's because Paradis is still bearing a grudge, like kind of thing. It's just interesting to think about. God, we have to see it, right? At some, like, they're not gonna show us the rumbling at some point. And
is that like one of the ending things? Is that like the last couple episodes?
I don't know.
Something with the rumbling happens. I mean, if Marley does a surprise attack?
Sorry. You're right. I got really excited. I got so excited. I just turned the page and wrote. I forgot. I read the name Shallot. He's back. He survived. I don't know how.
I thought Shallot got flung in the air.
Yeah, and he landed
on his feet like a cat.
Yep. Boop. Horses do that.
This is just maybe his brother or something.
I am not budging. Convince me that Gabby is going to get redeemed. Fine. You can't convince me that this isn't Shallot. That is the best moment of my life. I'm sorry.
So you're claiming that a horse biting onto a human's head or nipping it is a solely Shallot trait. And we call them Shallot because that's what it sounded like. I think it's like Sharot or something in actual spelling.
Look, in universe, it happens. It has to have happened before that sometime in history a horse has bitten somebody's head and it hasn't been Shallot.
Just sometime in history.
It's the mangaka and the showrunners' responsibility not to show us every time and keep the story straight in a cohesive narrative that viewers will be invested in. We can't break away to see every horse, bite people's hair.
And there's only one horse we truly care about.
There's only one horse we've seen it happen with. And to bring it back again, it's intentional. It has to be a creative, intentional choice to bring Charlotte back into the story for some purpose, and that purpose is to make me very happy.
And did it? Did it work?
I'm a very happy person right now. Yes. But also, again, just want to reiterate, Kaya is like, the addition of Kaya was so welcome, and she did such a great job as a character this episode. Like, to make me like get the response that I had out of a character I just like was reintroduced to or met or really learned about in one episode. That was so good. It was so well done.
I remember how scared I was in that specific scene with Sasha,
Yeah.
all that time ago, season 2, I believe. I remember how scared for Sasha I was there. That was terrifying because the Titan, like, Kaya was right. This Titan was eating her mother alive. This is different than the other Titans the one that Dina, that killed Aaron's mom, that was like a one-hit wonder, The one that Sasha fought, I remember saying to you, I think during that reaction, like, that's the creepiest of all of the Titans that I've seen, because it's only slightly non-human size. I think it was like 7 foot or something. And so it was just a large, human size. And so it was literally eating her alive. And wasn't she paralyzed? Like, her legs were paralyzed, the mom? The fear, I think that might have been one of the most creeped out I was in an episode, the most scared of Titans.
It was also just a great episode because of Sasha.
And it was a great episode because Sasha was epic, and honestly, I think it's perfect to have her mixed with Gabby, because if you think about if Gabby had been in Sasha's shoes, she would have done the exact same thing.
Yeah, and Gabby killed her. Like it's crazy, and
it makes it even more like, oh, Gabby was supposed to kill her. If we were gonna have any growth for Gabby or any ending of a cycle, there needs to be more narratively, like, to back it up, to make it way more powerful and dynamic, to have any growth from Gabby in terms of like calming down a little bit with her animosity, letting go a little bit of that hatred. Yeah, it just, there's so much backing it up now. It's so deep and it's so rooted in the narrative of Attack on Titan from season 1 now. Like, they took a character they gave us in this season and have now made her relevant to all other seasons of the show.
Yep.
Like, when we rewatch the show and we see things from Sasha from the first season, Gabby's gonna be in our heads. Like, this has solidified us thinking about Gabby from day one, if on a rewatch.
Yeah. I think I'm so happy because you don't see a lot of instances of what you just described, like of writing in like on a side character being Sasha, right? That was a great episode. It made me fall in love with Sasha to the degree that I love her now. That episode of her defending Kaya.
Because there was also some work she had to do. She was nervous and she was scared.
I thought she was going to die potentially that episode. And she didn't. And they have perfectly connected it into the story. I don't know. I wonder if what was going through the writer's head, and he was like, oh, people are gonna fucking scream when they realize what's going on now. I
was screaming as soon as Kaya, while Gabby and Falco were fighting, she was like, oh, is that what you're taught in Marley?
Yeah.
And I was like,
like, are you Reiner's relative? Because you guys both drop bombs in a very nonchalant way.
They just love to, they make themselves the center of attention by the way that they drop information.
Yeah. Oh.
And we had Reiner hear Gabby and Falco's voices, which I think, I just want to reiterate, gives me some type of credence to a theory that either Gabby and Falco are in fact going to inherit that Titan, the Armor Titan.
Yeah. How do you feel about Reiner? He's not given up on life. He is the person who's trying to suggest a surprise attack.
It's for Gabby and Falco.
It's very compelling to do with Reiner.
He only woke up because it was Gabby and Falco. It was Falco, He woke up because of that.
I'm scared for Reiner and Eren to meet again.
I'm scared for Reiner to meet Connie or Jean or any of them. Mikasa, Armin, I mean, Reiner said to us in that iconic line, "I'm tired of all these walls," you know? Like, and now he doesn't even bat an eye. He's like, we're going back and we're doing a surprise attack. And I know it's not going to be that easy, but his cousin is over there. But Reiner also doesn't say anything alluding to him thinking Gabby's going to be killed.
Yeah.
Or anything like that. Because I think Reiner knows a good deal about the island and that they wouldn't, in fact, just murder Falco and Gabby.
Yeah, it's been 4 years and Aaron's different, though, too. But I agree with you. I agree.
But he wants to go back. To get them back. He's trying to be in this brain of, I couldn't die then and I can't die now because now Falco and Gabby need me and we can't wait 6 months because Zeke obviously has a plan for that 6 months. Like Global Alliance, I feel like that would be way too big to see that happen in the show. So I feel like they had to go a route narratively for there to be a surprise attack, because I don't know how it would have gone narratively if we were like, okay, now we wait 6 months and let's check in on the island and their progress over the 6 months, and now let's check back to Marley and their progress. Oh no, the big day, global fight.
Yeah,
that doesn't really seem like a compelling direction. I really love this addition of like, let's just go.
I wonder how it's going to play out, because I think it's going to be difficult to have a surprise attack unless you're literally just going to go in airship. Then okay, but you're going to be like either shot down or you're going to have a colossal titan appear and swat you out of the sky. Like I don't know what it's going to look like.
And is it possible to have a true and total surprise attack when it's possible for people to be linked?
Yeah.
Throughout
I don't know.
Timelines.
Last thing I want to say is that one of the best parts about Anna's dad catching up to where we are in the series was the other day when I was like, oh my God, you've seen it then. He was like, seen what? And I was like, more walls. I'm tired of seeing these walls. And he was like, yes. Like it's one of the most quotable things for me from Attack on Titan.
Oh, the other quotable thing that my dad liked was meat.
Yeah. That just makes me sad.
It makes you sad, but he liked that those were the last words.
Yeah.
Meat.
All right. You good?
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we hope to see you next time.
What it's claiming
everywhere.
is that they still have a grudge. What it's claiming
everywhere.
is that they still have a grudge. What it's claiming
everywhere.
is that they still have a grudge.
What it's claiming is that they still have a grudge.